Hey guys, welcome back. I'm EDC Gunner, and today I wanna talk to you and explain to you how a Seiko Kinetic watch works. It's an Echo Drive and Seiko Solar, and what are the differences, and should you be buying them? Well, the last answer is I don't buy those watches. You know why? Recently I was asked about the Seiko Kinetic watch, that's why I'm making this video, but when I first bought my Seiko Kinetic, my first watch, it was used, it was 10 years old or something else. Now the technology is a bit better, so they can last a bit more than 10 years. However, it wasn't working correctly, so I thought, I knew nothing about it, so I thought it needs a battery change, and I will fix it up. When I opened it, it's Kinetic, has a rotor, and I thought, sure, I will replace the battery, but no, I had to take it to my watchmaker. One didn't know what, didn't have the equipment or the means or the battery to replace it, and it ended up costing me a lot more than I expected, and basically it was the same amount the watch is worth. So the Seiko Kinetic is like a Toyota hybrid, plug-in hybrid watch, and it works at the principle that it's a quartz watch, but it's powered by there's a rotor that rotates pins just like an automatic watch, and that rotor fills up the capacitor, uh, which is basically a battery, like on a car battery, and it fills it up with energy, and then that energy from capacitor powers the watch. And it's, you may think it's a perfect system, and it sure is if you're buying disposable watches, but after 10 or 20 years, eventually down the road you will have to replace it, because all batteries have a shelf life and they have expiry date, and they need to be changed. And the same case is with the solar watches, most notably Seiko Solar or Citizen Eco Drive, and they are all solar watches. And when you think solar watches, they don't use any battery because they're solar, they're powering off the sunlight or artificial light, but that's wrong, because those watches are working, especially since it's an Echo Drive, but all of the solar watches are the same principle. There's a solar panel below the dial of the watch, and it collects the light and it charges the rechargeable solar battery, and they can last a long time, and they are very convenient. They can be powered by the artificial light, and they can be, some of them can last like 6 months in a drawer without recharge, and after that you just place them next to the window when they're working. But um, eventually you will need to replace that battery, and those are costly and not everyone can do it. So in the spirit of watch collecting, I recommend you buy fully automatic or mechanical watch, where automatic watch is a watch that has a rotor, oscillating rotor, and balancing spring that powers the watch, and it will never run out of battery. Of course, you need to periodically maintain it, but everything needs to be maintained. But those are the collectible watches, and that's why our some Swiss uh, Rolex is automatic. So I think that will explain enough. And if you don't want to go that route, then you buy normal quartz battery operated watches, which you can change your battery yourself, or someone can change it for you at the very low cost of the battery, like $10 or even less. So that's it. I hope this little video helps you explain these things. Those are Kinetic and solar watches, are very efficient, but they have a shelf life and they're not gonna last you forever. And mechanical watches do last you forever. They are just like art.